Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Ruth Online Vlog. My name is Ruth and I'm currently going through the process of applying for a spousal visa with my US citizen husband. And today's video, I would like to share with you a step-by-step guide on how to fill out the I-130 form for a DIY or do-it-by-yourself spousal visa online application. My own I-130 form got approved in the USCIS stage without requiring any additional evidence or RFE, and now finally it's documentarily qualified in VC stage, and I'm just waiting them to be transferred here in Philippines US Embassy, and I'm waiting my medical and interview. I'm just happy because I just did it by myself without the help of a lawyer or any visa agency. I know it's really confusing and overwhelming, the entire process, but no worries because I will provide you with some helpful tips to navigate this DIY process successfully. Also, it can help you to save thousands of dollars too. If you're a couple like me who is planning to file a spousal visa by themselves to reunite with their US citizen spouse, this video is for you. So let's go. Open the browser on your phone or computer, and on the address bar, type www.uscis.gov. Then select sign in, and if the petitioner haven't already created an account, click on create an account and follow the instructions to set up your account. So the petitioner needs to provide their email address in order to receive this kind of link from USCIS. Open your email and click the link. You will routed to this page about the terms and conditions. Read and scroll down and click agree. Then it will ask you to create your password. Then submit to complete the registration. But if the petitioner already created an account, just log in with your username and password and enter the authentication code sent to your email address or phone number. Once you log in, you will see like this. Select the file a form online, then click this drop-down arrow and select the I-130 form, petition for alien relatives. This I-130 form is used to establish the relationship between a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident petitioner and their foreign-born spouse beneficiary. Before we begin, it's important to read this first for your eligibility as petitioner. Since we are filing for a spouse, select spouse. It says here you need to fill out the I-130A form for spouse beneficiary. I will discuss this on my next video. I'm gonna make a video tutorial on how to fill out the I-130A form for beneficiary. On this page, it will gonna tell you who may not file a form I-130 for a person in the following categories. So it's very important to read all of this to ensure that you will have no problem with your application, and in case you have, at least you will know and can consult with immigration lawyer. Let's scroll down and it will tell you about the fees, documents, evidence you needed to submit and what to expect after submitting an application and more. Then just click on start form, and now let's move on to the form itself. The I-130 form is divided into several sections, and this is all the fields and necessary information of the petitioner and beneficiary that needed to be filled out in the form. So let's break it down. Before we begin, let's clarify for easy understanding. A petitioner is a U.S. Citizen or legal permanent resident who applies an alien petition on behalf of a family member, like the spouse, and the beneficiary is the family member you are petitioning for, like the spouse. And all the informations used here are not real. So let's begin. So on this information, this is about the preparer or interpreter information. On this question, is someone assisting you with completing this application? Since we are doing it by ourselves or DIY, we just have to select no. If the lawyer is filling out on your behalf or any authorized person, then they have to answer yes on this part, and they have to enter their informations. But we are filling out by ourselves as a petitioner or beneficiary, so just select no and click next. On this question, it will ask about the petitioner information. What is your current legal name? Your current legal name is the name on your birth certificate, unless it changed after birth by a legal action such as marriage or a court order, and do not provide any nicknames here. So example, the petitioner is a male and they never changed their name. So we just have to enter their the given name or first name, David, and then middle name is Style, and then the family name is Smith. And then it will gonna ask you, have you used any other name since birth? Other name used may include nicknames, aliases, and maiden names. So you may select yes if you have a previous name, like you are female petitioner and you get married or widowed or divorced or annulled and use your previous husband last name. Then you have to select yes and enter all the names that you have used before with your maiden name or your previous husband. But on this one, we don't have other names. Then click next to move on to the next page. Then this one, it will gonna ask for a petitioner contact information. How can we contact you? Then the petitioner needs to enter their daytime telephone number. So type 1 as the country code, and then enter also the 10 digits phone number. If you have another mobile phone number, you may type it here, but if none, just leave it blank or type none or NA. Mine, I just leave blank all the boxes that I don't need and get approved without any problem. Next is email address, if any. Don't forget to enter it even it's not necessary, because any update with your case will also send it to the email address, like the payment confirmation and NVC welcome letter. What is your current mailing address? We will use your current mailing address to contact you throughout the application process. We may not be able to contact you if you do not provide a complete valid address. So you have to enter your name, David Style Smith, and then the country is United States, of course. Then on the address line, just type your street address, and then line 2 if you have a unit number, and then city, state, and zip code. Next question is your current mailing address the same as your physical address? You may only select no if you have a PO box number where the post office drop your mail, but if not, just select yes and next. And then next, petitioner address history. Where have you lived during the last 5 years? Provide your physical addresses for the last 5 years, whether it's inside or outside the United States. Click add address if you have any previous address during the last 5 years. If none, just leave it and click next to move on to the next page. Describe yourself. It's still for the petitioner information. So the question here is, what is your gender? So on this example, the petitioner is male, so select male. And then what is your ethnicity? Hispanic or Latino, or not Hispanic or Latino. So Hispanic or Latino is referred to a person of Cuban, Mexican, Puerto Rican, South or Central American, or other Spanish culture or origin, regardless of race. So if you have to, if you have those ethnicity, select Hispanic or Latino. If not, then select not Hispanic or Latino. So, example, on this example, the petitioner is not Hispanic or Latino. What is your race? Select all that apply. Your race is different from your ethnicity and should reflect your geographical origins. So there's a lot of options here. So if you're not sure about your race, you may just click this blue question mark like white. It will gonna tell you what it means. Asian, also black or African American, American Indian or Alaskan Native, Native Hawaiian, or other Pacific Islander. Then about the petitioner height, example 6 feet and inches. Then what is your weight? So example, it's 200 pounds. If you're not sure about the conversion of your weight from kilogram to pounds, then you can search in Google. Then what is the color of your eye? You may click the drop down arrow and it will tell you, or you have to select the right one for you. So example, brown. Then what is the color of your hair? You may also select the drop down arrow and you may select the right one for you. So example, black. And then click next. Here, employment history of the petitioner. Where have you worked for the last 5 years? Provide your employment history for the last 5 years, whether inside or outside the United States. Provide the current employment first. So click add employment. If you are currently unemployed, type unemployed for the name of the employer. But if you are employed, then you have to enter all the informations. Example, the petitioner here has a 2 employer in the last 5 years. So answer all the questions like the employer's name, employer's address, the country, street, city, and the zip code state. Then what was your occupation? Let's say service crew. On what date were you employed here? You have to put the start date, and if you're currently work here, just select currently work here. An example of this one, the petitioner has 2 jobs, so they have to enter all of them. Then if you're done, just save employment and click add employment if you need more. You may edit and cancel your answer here. Now let's move on to the next page. Additional informations for petitioner. What is your current immigration status? I am a US citizen, or I am a lawful permanent resident. So let's say on this example, the petitioner is a US citizen. Next question is, did you gain lawful permanent resident status or citizenship through adoption? If yes, select yes. If none, no. If you are a lawful permanent resident card holder, then you have to enter your A number, which is found in your green card or the permanent resident card. Then if you are a US citizen and you don't have a number, then just check this I do not have or know my A number. Then next is, what is your USCIS online account number? You will only have an online account number if you previously filed a form and has a receipt number begin with IOE. If you file online, you will see it on your account profile, or if you file through mail, you will see it on the top of the access notice that sent you. If you do not have a receipt number that begins with IOE, or if you did not apply before, then just check this I do not have or know my US CIS online account number. What is your US Social Security number? All the US citizen and legal permanent resident in United States are required to have a SSN or Social Security number. So type the 9 digits Social Security number here. Next is, what is your date of birth? This is for the petitioner. And then, what is your country of birth? Example, United States. And then what is your city, town, or village of birth? Let's say Swift Heights. And then next. On this part, it's about the US citizen information, which is still the petitioner. How did you obtain your US citizenship? There is 3 options. Birth in the United States, which is means you are born in US. Naturalization, you are previously a legal permanent resident and now a US citizen. And then parents, for those who born abroad or outside of US and gained their US citizenship through CRBA or consular report of birth abroad, as one or both their parents are US citizen. So on this example, the petitioner is birthed in the United States. Have you obtained a certificate of naturalization or a certificate of citizenship? Again, if you are a previous LPR or legal permanent resident, then you have to select yes and enter all the informations like the certificate of naturalization, the place and date issued. And then for this one, we example, the petitioner is a US citizen by birth, so select no. Next is your family marital status. This is still the petitioner. What is your current marital status? So of course we select married since we are petitioning our spouse overseas. So select married. And how many times have you been married? Include annulled marriages, marriage to other people, and marriages to the same person. If they never had a previous marriage before, only with the current spouse, then just select 1. So example 1. Then it will ask about the current spouse of the petitioner. What is your current spouse legal name? Your spouse's legal name is the name on his or her birth certificate unless it changes after birth by a legal action such as marriage or court order. Do not provide a nickname here. So on this one, the beneficiary is a female, and she is using her husband last name. So it will be a married name. So first name is Anna, middle name is Cruz, and family name is now Smith. On what date did you marry your current spouse? So example, January 25th, 2022. Where were you and your current spouse married? So example, here in Philippines. Country, Philippines. City is Makati. Province, Metro Manila. And then when did your last marriage end? On this one, leave it blank because you are still together. So just click next, leave it blank. Next question is, it will ask about the petitioner parents. So parent 1 is like, let's say, the father. So your parents' legal name is the name on their birth certificate unless it changed after birth by legal action such as marriage or court order. Do not provide a nickname here. What is their date of birth? Then example February 23rd, 1959. And since is the father of the petitioner, so select male, the gender, and then what is their country of birth? Example in United States. What is their city, town, village of residence? Also enter the country of residence. Then click next. Next question is, what is the full name of parent two, which is the mother of the petitioner? Your parent's legal name is the name on their birth certificate unless it changed after birth by legal action such as marriage or court order. Do not provide a nickname here. So enter their given name, middle name, family name. Then what is their date of birth and what is their gender, which is female. And then what is their country of birth, which is United States. What is their city, town, village of residence, and then what is their country of residence. So what if the parents or one of the parents already deceased? So on the city, province, or village residence, just put deceased there. Next question is, it's about the beneficiary. For whom are you filing this petition? So you have select the relationship. So there's an options there, spouse, parent, brother or sister, or child. So you have to select spouse. And since you are petitioning your spouse, you will need to upload the supplemental information for spouse beneficiary, which is the I-130 as a part of the evidence for this application. So you may click this blue link and then download this form and then fill it out. This is the form looks like. So again, I'm gonna make a video tutorial on it, how to fill out this form. So you may tune in on my next video. So all the information on this form will be the beneficiary, which is the spouse. Next question is, has anyone ever filed a petition for a beneficiary? Select unknown if you and the beneficiary both do not know if anyone else has ever filed a petition for the beneficiary. So if she is aware that nobody filed a petition for her, then select no. Next is the beneficiary names. So you should enter your beneficiary's information in the section and not your own information. The beneficiary is the family member for whom you are filing this petition, which is your spouse. So here is the question, what is the beneficiary's current legal name? So you have to enter given name, Anna, middle name, Cruz, family name, Smith. The beneficiary is using her married name. So next question is, has the beneficiary used any other name since birth? Other names used may include nicknames, aliases, and maiden names. Provide the other names your beneficiary has used, if any. Since the beneficiary is married now and she is using her current husband's last name, then she have to enter her maiden name, which is example given name Anna, middle name Santos, family name is Cruz. Then if she is also a like married before and got divorced or annulled or widow, and she is using her previous husband name, then enter it here by just click add another name if the beneficiary need more spaces for the additional information. Next is beneficiary contact information. So it will ask her phone number. So how can we contact the beneficiary? So she have to enter her telephone number, country code Philippines, and then the 10 digits number. Then if she have any mobile number, she may enter that. If not, just disregard it. And then email address, if any. I highly suggest to enter the email address so that if there's any notification such as NVC welcome letter, she will receive through by email. Also, Next question is about the beneficiary's addresses. Where does the beneficiary live now? If the beneficiary lives outside the United States, in a home without a street number or a name, leave the address line and address line to blank. So, example, the beneficiary is from Philippines, so enter the country Philippines, and then the address line is the street number and name. So for example, to Santolan Street, then the Capitolio is barangay. So even you don't have a street name here, you can just put barangay on the street one and it's okay. Then enter the city, the province, and the postal code. Next question is, where in the United States does the beneficiary intend to live? Provide the address in the United States where the beneficiary intends to live, if different from where they live now. If the address is the same as where they live now, same, just type same in the address line 1. So what I put in here is the address of my husband, which is the the petitioner. That is where I intend to live. Then what is the beneficiary's address outside of the United States? Provide the beneficiary's address outside the United States if different from where they live now. On this one, I just leave it blank because my address outside of United States is the same where I live right now. This part, it will ask you about the address where you live together. So, where did you and your spouse last live together? If filing for your spouse, provide the last address at which you physically live together. If never lived together, just type never lived together in address line 1. In my end, I just put never live together and I was approved. As per what I read and heard from the other people who already filed as well, you only put you live together if you really live together 6 months and above and has a shared or joint bills or lease together. If none, then just put never live together and it will be fine. Next is additional information for the beneficiary. So what is the beneficiary's A number? If the beneficiary is legal permanent resident, put the A number. If not, then just put a check on they do not have an A number. Also, what is the beneficiary USCIS online account number? If the beneficiary did not file any petition through online or sent a request in the lockbox, then just put I do not have a USCIS online account number. Then what is the beneficiary's US social security number? On this one, let's say the beneficiary don't have a social security number and never been in US. The next is, what is the beneficiary's date of birth? So type the birthday of your spouse. Then what is the beneficiary country of birth? Then Philippines example. Then what is their city, town, or village of birth? Let's say Iloilo City. What is the beneficiary gender? So female. Next is immigration information. So was the beneficiary ever in the United States? If yes, select yes. If no, select no. On this one, in the example, let's say no. Next is, what is the beneficiary's passport number? Type it in here. And then what is the beneficiary's travel document number? If the beneficiary don't have, leave it blank or in A or none. Then what is the country of issuance for the beneficiary's passport or travel document? Philippines. What is the expiry date of the beneficiary passport or travel document? So enter the passport expiry date. Was the beneficiary ever in the immigration proceedings? If yes, enter it. Like example, you applied a student visa or tourist visa, then you have to select yes on this one. If you didn't, then just select no. And then next, beneficiary employment information. So where does the beneficiary currently work? So example, name of employer, T-Star Hotel, Philippines, enter the address line, which is the street name, apartment, the city is the gig, the province Metro Manila, and the postal code. Then when did your current employment begin? So let's say October 15, 2018, and click. Next is about the beneficiary marital status. What is your beneficiary current marital status? So of course, we have to select married because the petitioner is the husband. Next is how many times has your beneficiary been married? Include annulled marriages, marriages to other people, and marriage to the same person. So if the beneficiary has a previous marriage, like say divorce or got widow or annulled, and then got married to the current spouse, so enter 2. But if she never been married before, then just type 1. So next is about the current spouse of the beneficiary. What is the legal name of your beneficiary's current name? So on this one, you have your beneficiary spouse legal name is the name on his or her birth certificate unless it changed after birth by a legal action such as marriage or court order. Do not provide nickname here. So the name that you have to enter here is your petitioner name. So the petitioner name is David, middle name is Style, family name is Smith. On what date did your beneficiary marry their current spouse? So let's say January 25th, 2022, where your beneficiary and their current spouse married. So example, in Philippines, Makati, city is Makati, the province is Manila. When did your beneficiary last married end? So the beneficiary and the petitioner still married, so leave it blank. Then select next. On this part, it's asking about the beneficiary's family. Provide information about the beneficiary's spouse and children in this section if they have any. Select add and enter this following information. Since the petitioner is the spouse of the beneficiary, so we have to enter here the information of the petitioner. So like their complete name, the given name, middle name, family name, what is the relationship with the beneficiary, which is the spouse, and then select the date of birth of the spouse, which is the petitioner, what is their country of birth. Then click next. On this field is about adjustment of status. At which U.S. Embassy or consulate location will the beneficiary apply for an immigrant visa? You should only answer this question if the beneficiary will apply for an immigrant visa outside of United States at a U.S. Embassy or U.S. consulate. If the beneficiary will apply for an immigrant visa outside of the United States, you must provide the location of the U.S. Embassy or U.S. consulate where the beneficiary will apply for an immigrant visa or interview. On this one, this is a very important field, so make sure to answer and specify which country and U.S. Embassy or consulate the beneficiary will have their interviews, because a lot of posts I read in Facebook spousal visa group where I belong, that some of them forgot or leave this field blank, and the USCIS requests them to file an I-824 form when their I-130 got approved, and it will take up to 6 months or more, the processing time, before it will take the approval, and additional $465 needs to pay. Only then it will transfer to NVC stage. If you don't file this form, the USCIS can't forward your case to NVC. So please pay attention this, as you don't want this hassle and delay when you're filing out your form. Example on this one is the country is Philippines, city is Manila, and province is Metro Manila. Then once you're done, click next. Next question is, have you ever previously filed a petition for this beneficiary or any other alien? If you do, then click yes. If not, just select no and next. Next question is, are you submitting separate petitions for other relatives? If you are also submitting separate petitions for other relatives, provide the names and your relationship to each relative in this section. Click add another if you have additional petition like the children, but if not, just leave it and click next. Native language. Information about the beneficiary in their native written language. This is only need if your documents, like example, your marriage certificate is not written in Roman letters and English. Example, your documents written in Korean or in Chinese alphabet and not in English and not in Roman letters, then you need to submit a translation of your documents. But like here in the Philippines, we don't need this because our documents written in English and Roman letters. So if not applicable to you, then just leave it blank and next. Proof of US citizenship. Upload documents that show the petitioner is a US citizen. Example is birth certificate, a copy of your naturalization certificate, a copy of form FS-240 or consular report of birth abroad or CRBA, a copy of your unexpired US passport. So on this one, I just uploaded my husband birth certificate and US passport. Next is proof of marriage. You have to upload the copy of your marriage certificate. So when I submitted our I-130 form, my PSA marriage certificate is not yet ready. So all I just submitted is the local civil registry marriage certificate coming from the municipality. So when my PSA marriage certificate arrived after like a month and a half, I just uploaded it in unsolicited evidence. Here in the unsolicited evidence, you can upload any documents that you think it can help your case to approve faster. Also, same with my passport, since my passport when I applied the I-130 is still on my maiden name. So when I got my married name on my passport, I also uploaded it here. Next is the 2x2 photo of you. So you need to upload a recent color photograph of yourself that measures 2 inches by 2 inches. So on this one, the petitioner needs to submit a 2x2 photos. You just have to read the instructions about the 2x2 photos you need to submit. You may open this photo tool and upload your photo to check if your photo is in correct format, and it can automatically crop your photo as well to make it 2x2. If your photo is having error of big size, you may resize it by adjusting 600 times 600. You may Google search an image resizer, and then make sure the background is white or off-white. Also, same with the beneficiary, they have also to submit 2x2 picture or US passport picture. Same requirements with the petitioner. Next is additional proof of marriage. So you have to upload one or more of the following documentations that may prove you have a bona fide marriage. It's better to upload more to make sure there will be no additional delay or they won't request RFE or request additional evidence, and it will gonna delay with your case. So it says here you have to submit a documentation showing joint ownership of a property, a lease showing joint tenancy of common residence, meaning you both live at the same address together, documentation showing that you and your spouse have combined your financial resources, birth certificate of children born to you and your spouse, or the affidavit sworn to or affirmed by third parties having personal knowledge of your bona fide of the marital relationship. So what if you don't have those kind of documentation? So like us, me and my husband don't have those kind of documentation. So what we did is we only uploaded as a proof of bona fide relationship, like the following photos we took together during his trip here and with my family: wedding photos, airplane ticket, itinerary, his passport stamped when he traveled here in the Philippines, our hotel reservations together, WhatsApp, our WhatsApp chat and call logs, at least 3 screenshots per year, some Facebook post about a relationship, and the third party sworn affidavit from my father and sister. It's not notarized. They just have their name there, their date of birth, their address, and they just explain how they know about a relationship, something like that. So you must submit clear and convincing evidence that you and your spouse entered into marriage in good faith and not for immigration purposes. So next is proof of legal name change. Either you or the person you are filing for using a name that is not the same name shown on the relevant documents. You must file your petition with copies of the legal documents reflecting the name change, such as marriage certificate, adoption decree, or a court order. So since I'm using my husband's surname, I just uploaded a marriage certificate. Next is supplemental information for spouse beneficiary. If you are filing for your spouse, he or she must complete and sign the supplemental information for spouse beneficiary. So this is what I showed earlier. The beneficiary needs to fill this out, and you have to upload it here. So you may check on my next video. I'm gonna have a video tutorial about it, so stay tuned. Next is official statement. If required documents is unavailable, upload a statement from the appropriate civil authority certifying that the documents are not available. You must also submit a secondary evidence, which may include one or more of the following records. Next is additional information. If you need to provide any additional information for any of your answers to the questions in this form, enter it into the space below. You should include the questions that you are referencing. If you do not need to provide any additional information, you may leave this section blank. Otherwise, add a response. Example of this is like there's a name correction or annotation on your birth certificate, then you need more explanation, then you have to add it here. Next is, you must check your petition before you submit. You must review your petition and check for an accuracy and completeness before you submit it. If there is any missing or incomplete information, it may slow down the review process after you submit your petition. So make sure you double check it. You can return to this page to review your petition as many times as you want before you submit it. So if you're not ready to submit it yet, you can just save it and leave it and go back. Make sure to go back within 30 days, otherwise it will be deleted. Next is form filing fee, which is the $535. So USCIS does not refund your fees regardless of the action and the result of your application. So if you're continuing this transaction, you acknowledge that you must submit the fees in the exact amount and that you are paying the fees for a government service. So you may pay online using a credit card, debit card, or any accepted payments method. Next is on this field, the I-130 form informations. Here is the summary of all your informations. You may check it. Here's the draft snapshot. You may view it. So you may check in case there's any mistake or problem. You can go back. Applicant statement. So this is for the petitioner. You must read and agree to the statement below. I can read and understand English and have read and understand every question and instruction on this petition, as well as my answer to this every question. So you have to put a check on here on this box and enter your complete name as a petitioner. That will be your considered as the signature, your complete name. If you don't write your name on this box, USCIS will deny your application and will have to file again and pay. So now if you are decided to submit your application, then click next and then pay and submit. And then you have to select which payment would like to pay, bank or debit card. Then select continue, and you will be gonna ask to enter your payment information, your card number if you're gonna pay online. And you will expect to receive email confirmation about your payment, and then you will gonna receive a notice of action 1 or NOA 1 that your application was received, and you were able to track now your case through your online account. That's it, guys. Hopefully this video was able to help you to navigate your DIY spousal visa journey successfully. In our next video, I'll guide you to fill out the I-130A form for the beneficiary. Also, a guide through the process of gathering and organizing your supporting documents, files such as your photos together, travel tickets, chat messages, call logs, and many more. Remember to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell button so that you won't miss any future videos for more tips and updates about the spousal visa application process. If you have any questions or need further assistance, feel free to leave a comment below. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Take care.